Chapter 1, Shadows on the Horizon. The new era of peace and unity in Eldoria brought with it an air of optimism and prosperity. The regions were flourishing, the people were united, and the guardians remained vigilant. However, even in times of peace, shadows can grow unnoticed, and new threats can emerge from the most unexpected places. One crisp morning, as Lyra, Kai, Drake, and Mira gathered in the heart of the Aurora Forest, they discussed their ongoing efforts to strengthen Eldoria's defenses and train new guardians. The atmosphere was one of camaraderie and purpose. "We've made significant progress," Lyra said, her eyes sparkling with pride. "The guardians are well trained, and our alliances are stronger than ever." Kai nodded, his expression thoughtful. "But we must not become complacent. We need to continue to innovate and improve our defenses. The threats we face will not remain the same." Drake, his arms crossed and gaze steady, added, "I've been hearing whispers from the mountains. There's talk of strange occurrences and sightings. We should investigate and ensure there are no new threats lurking." Myra's voice was soft but filled with resolve. "And we should continue to foster unity among the people. Our strength lies in our ability to stand together." As they spoke, a messenger arrived, his face pale and his breath labored. "I bring urgent news from the Crystal Plains," he said, his voice trembling. "There have been sightings of dark creatures at the borders. They seem to be searching for something." Lyra's expression grew serious. "We need to investigate immediately. Kai, can you lead a team to the Crystal Plains and assess the situation?" Kai nodded, already preparing to leave. "I'll take a group of our best guardians and scouts. We'll find out what's happening and report back." As Kai set off for the Crystal Plains, Lyra, Drake, and Mira continued their work in the Aurora Forest. They coordinated with the other regions, ensuring that their defenses were strong and their people were prepared for any potential threats. A few days later, Kai returned with troubling news. "The dark creatures we encountered were organized and seemed to be searching for something specific," he reported. "They were not aimless. We need to find out what they're after and why." Lyra's brow furrowed with concern. "We should consult the ancient texts and speak with Alara. There might be clues about what these creatures are searching for." The group made their way to the ancient library in the Aurora Forest, where Alara greeted them with her usual wisdom and warmth. "I have been sensing disturbances in the magical energies of Eldoria," she said. "There is something stirring, something old and powerful." As they delved into the ancient texts, they discovered references to an artifact known as the Eternal Light. It was said to be a source of immense power, capable of both great good and terrible evil. The texts warned that if the artifact fell into the wrong hands, it could bring about a new age of darkness. "This must be what the dark creatures are searching for," Lyra said, her voice filled with urgency. "We need to find the Eternal Light before they do and ensure it is protected." Drake's eyes blazed with determination. "We should split up and search for any clues about the artifact's location. We cannot allow it to fall into the wrong hands." Mira nodded, her voice steady. "And we should increase our patrols and defenses. If the dark creatures are searching for the Eternal Light, they will not stop until they find it." With their plan set, the group divided their efforts. Lyra and Alara focused on deciphering the ancient texts and gathering as much information as possible about the Eternal Light. Kai and a team of guardians scouted the regions, searching for any clues about the artifact's location. Drake and Mira coordinated with the allies and increased their patrols, ensuring that Eldoria remained protected. As they embarked on this new mission, they knew that the stakes were higher than ever. The Eternal Light held the potential to change the fate of Eldoria, and they were determined to ensure that it would be used for good. With their hearts filled with resolve and their bond stronger than ever, Lyra, Kai, Drake, and Mira faced the horizon, ready to confront the shadows and protect their homeland from the encroaching darkness. Chapter 2, A Journey Through Shadows. The urgency of their mission weighed heavily on the group as they split up to cover more ground. Lyra and Alara remained in the Aurora Forest, poring over ancient texts to uncover any hidden knowledge about the Eternal Light. Meanwhile, Kai led a team of guardians through the Crystal Plains, Drake scouted the Shadow Mountains, and Mira patrolled the Misty Isles. Days turned into weeks, and the search continued with little progress. The artifact remained elusive, and the dark creatures grew bolder in their attempts to locate it. The group maintained communication through enchanted amulets, sharing any findings and coordinating their efforts. One evening, as Lyra and Alara were deep in study, Alara suddenly paused, her eyes widening with realization. "Lyra, look at this passage," she said, pointing to a particularly old and worn scroll. "It speaks of an ancient map that reveals the location of the eternal light. The map is said to be hidden in the Vault of Whispers." Lyra leaned in, her heart quickening with excitement. "The Vault of Whispers? Where is it located?" Alara traced her finger along the text, her brow furrowing in concentration. "The vault is hidden deep within the Whispering Woods, a place known for its magical concealment and treacherous paths. It's not an easy place to reach, but it's our best lead." Lyra nodded, determination in her eyes. "We need to get there as soon as possible. I'll inform the others and we'll set out at first light." As Lyra activated her amulet to contact Kai, Drake, and Mira, she felt a sense of urgency mixed with hope. This lead could be the key to finding the eternal light and protecting Eldoria from the dark forces. The next morning, the group reunited at the edge of the Whispering Woods. The dense forest loomed before them, its trees whispering secrets carried by the wind. The air was thick with magic, and an eerie sense of anticipation filled the atmosphere. Kai surveyed the forest, his hand resting on the hilt of his sword. "The Whispering Woods are known for their illusions and traps. We need to stay alert and work together." Drake, in his dragon form, nodded. "I'll scout from above and keep an eye out for any dangers. The rest of you should move cautiously on the ground." Myra's voice was calm but serious. "We'll use our combined magic to navigate the forest. The siren songs can help guide us through the illusions." With their plan set, the group ventured into the Whispering Woods. The trees seemed to close in around them, and the whispers grew louder, creating a disorienting and unnerving environment. Shadows danced at the edge of their vision, and every step felt like a test of their resolve. As they moved deeper into the forest, they encountered various magical traps and creatures designed to deter intruders. Lyra's arrows flew true, dispelling illusions and protecting her friends. Kai's sword flashed in the dappled light, cutting through vines and shadowy figures. Myra's songs created protective barriers, while Drake's fire cleared paths and warded off threats. Hours turned into a day, and the forest seemed endless. Just as fatigue began to set in, they reached a clearing where an ancient stone structure stood. The entrance to the Vault of Whispers was guarded by an intricate lock, covered in runes and magical seals. Alara stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with determination. "This is it. We need to decipher the runes and unlock the vault." Working together, they combined their knowledge and magic to break the seals. As the final rune glowed and faded, the heavy stone door creaked open, revealing a dimly lit chamber filled with ancient artifacts and scrolls. In the center of the chamber, on a pedestal, lay a rolled parchment tied with a silver ribbon. Lyra carefully approached and unrolled the parchment, revealing the ancient map. The map depicted the path to the eternal light, marked with symbols and landmarks that only those with magical knowledge could decipher. "We have the map," Lyra said, her voice filled with hope. "Now we need to follow its path and find the eternal light before the dark forces do." As they prepared to leave the Vault of Whispers, the ground shook, and a deep, malevolent voice echoed through the chamber. "You think you can take what is mine? The eternal light will be mine, and darkness will consume Eldoria." The group tensed, ready for a fight. The source of the voice remained hidden, but its presence was palpable. They knew they had to move quickly and stay united to protect the artifact and their homeland. With the map in hand and a renewed sense of urgency, Lyra, Kai, Drake, and Mira set out on the next leg of their journey. The path to the eternal light was fraught with danger, but they were determined to succeed. Their bond, strengthened by their shared experiences and unwavering resolve, would guide them through the challenges ahead. As they left the Whispering Woods, they felt the weight of their mission, knowing that the fate of Eldoria rested on their shoulders. Chapter 3: The Path of Trials. The map from the Vault of Whispers provided a clear path to the eternal light, but it was not without its challenges. The journey ahead was marked by trials that would test their strength, wisdom, and unity. With the map as their guide, Lyra, Kai, Drake, Mira, and Alara set out, determined to reach the artifact before the dark forces. Their first destination was the Shimmering Cave, a labyrinth of crystal tunnels that sparkled with an otherworldly light. According to the map, the cave held the key to unlocking the path to the eternal light. As they approached the entrance to the cave, Elara spoke, her voice echoing slightly in the open space. The shimmering cave is known for its illusions and tricky paths. We must stay close and rely on our senses and magic to navigate. Kai nodded, his hand resting on his sword. Let's move carefully. We can't afford to get separated. Drake, in his human form to maneuver the tight spaces, led the way with Mira, their eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of danger. Lyra and Elara followed closely, their magical abilities ready to counter any illusions or traps. Inside the cave, the walls glittered with crystals that cast shifting lights, creating an almost dreamlike atmosphere. The ground beneath their feet was uneven, and the air was filled with a faint humming sound. Every step they took seemed to echo endlessly, adding to the disorienting effect. As they ventured deeper, they encountered the first trial, a series of crystal bridges suspended over a chasm. The map indicated that only by aligning the light of the crystals with specific runes could they create a safe path across. Elara studied the runes carved into the walls, her fingers tracing the ancient symbols. We need to position the crystals to reflect the light onto these runes. It will create a bridge of light that we can walk on. Working together, they adjusted the crystals, carefully aligning them to reflect the light. As the beams of light touched the runes, a shimmering bridge began to form, connecting the gaps over the chasm. The bridge sparkled and shifted, making it clear that they had to move quickly and carefully. Kai stepped onto the bridge first, his movements deliberate and steady. Stay close and watch your footing. We don't know how long the bridge will hold. One by one, they crossed the bridge, their hearts pounding with each step. The light beneath their feet seemed to flicker, but they made it across safely. As soon as the last of them stepped off the bridge, it vanished, leaving no trace behind. They continued through the cave, facing more illusions and traps designed to test their resolve. At one point, they found themselves in a chamber filled with mirrors that reflected their worst fears and doubts. The reflections whispered doubts and taunted them, but Lyra, using her magic, shattered the illusions with a burst of light. These trials are meant to break us, Lyra said, her voice firm. But we must stay strong and trust in each other. As they neared the heart of the cave, they encountered the final trial, a guardian made of living crystal, its eyes glowing with a fierce light. The guardian spoke in a deep, resonant voice. Only those who are pure of heart and strong of will may pass. Kai stepped forward, his sword raised. We seek the eternal light to protect Eldoria from darkness. We are prepared to face any challenge. The guardian's eyes glowed brighter. Prove your worth. Defeat me, and you may pass. The battle that followed was intense and grueling. The guardian's crystal form was nearly impervious to physical attacks, but it was vulnerable to magical energy. Lyra and Elara focused their magic, targeting the guardian's weak points, while Kai and Drake distracted it with coordinated attacks. Mira used her siren songs to create protective barriers and weaken the guardian's defenses. Despite its strength, the guardian began to falter under their combined assault. With a final, powerful incantation, Lyra directed a beam of light into the guardian's core, shattering it into 1,000 sparkling fragments. As the guardian crumbled, it spoke one last time. You have proven yourselves worthy. The path to the eternal light is now open. A hidden door in the chamber's wall slid open, revealing a narrow tunnel leading deeper into the cave. The group, exhausted but triumphant, made their way through the tunnel and emerged into a breathtaking underground garden filled with glowing plants and a serene, crystal-clear lake. In the center of the lake, on a small island, stood a pedestal holding a radiant, glowing orb, the eternal light. The artifact pulsed with a gentle, soothing light, filling the chamber with a sense of peace and hope. Lyra approached the pedestal, her heart filled with awe. We found it. The eternal light. As she reached out to take the artifact, a dark shadow passed over the chamber. The malevolent voice they had heard before echoed through the cave. You think you have won? The eternal light will be mine. The ground shook, and dark creatures began to emerge from the shadows, their eyes glowing with hatred. The group quickly formed a defensive circle around the pedestal, ready to protect the artifact at all costs. With the eternal light within their grasp and the dark forces closing in, Lyra, Kai, Drake, Mira, and Alara knew that their greatest challenge was yet to come. But with their unwavering resolve and the power of their unity, they were ready to face the darkness and protect Eldoria from its clutches. Chapter 4, Guardians of the Light. As the dark creatures advanced, Lyra, Kai, Drake, Mira, and Alara stood their ground, determined to protect the eternal light. The underground garden, once serene and peaceful, now became a battleground filled with the clash of magic and steel. Lyra held the eternal light in her hands, feeling its warm energy pulse through her. "We must protect the artifact at all costs," she said, her voice steady. "It's our only hope against the darkness." Kai drew his sword, positioning himself at Lyra's side. "We'll hold the line. We can't let them get to you or the artifact." Drake shifted into his dragon form, his eyes blazing with determination. "I'll provide aerial support and keep them at bay from above." Mira began to sing a haunting melody, her voice weaving a protective barrier around the group. The siren song filled the chamber with a soothing yet powerful energy, weakening the dark creatures as they advanced. Alara stood with Lyra, her hands glowing with magical energy. "Together, we can amplify the power of the eternal light and drive them back." The dark creatures lunged forward, their eyes glowing with malevolent intent. Kai met them head-on, his sword flashing in the dim light as he cut through their ranks. Drake's fiery breath rained down from above, creating barriers of flame that forced the creatures to retreat. Myra's song created waves of energy that disrupted their movements, giving Kai and Drake an advantage. Alara and Lyra focused their magic on the eternal light, channeling its energy to create beams of pure light that struck the dark creatures with blinding force. The creatures screamed in agony as the light seared through them, reducing many to shadows and dust. Despite their combined efforts, the dark creatures kept coming, their numbers seemingly endless. The malevolent voice echoed through the chamber once more, filled with rage. "You cannot stop the darkness. The eternal light will be mine." Kai, breathing heavily from the exertion of battle, glanced at Lyra. "We can't hold them off forever. We need to find a way to seal the chamber and protect the artifact." Lyra nodded, her mind racing. "Alara, is there a way to use the eternal light to create a barrier that only we can pass through?" Alara's eyes lit up with realization. "Yes, but it will require a great deal of energy and concentration. We need to synchronize our magic perfectly." As Lyra and Alara prepared the spell, Kai, Drake, and Mira fought with renewed vigor, buying them the time they needed. The ground trembled with the force of the battle, but the group's determination never wavered. Finally, Lyra and Alara raised the eternal light, their voices merging in a powerful incantation. A brilliant beam of light shot up from the artifact, creating a shimmering dome that enveloped the chamber. The dark creatures recoiled, unable to penetrate the barrier. The malevolent voice screamed in fury as the dark creatures retreated. "This is not the end. The darkness will return." As the last of the creatures vanished, the chamber grew silent once more. The barrier held strong, protecting the eternal light and giving the group a moment to catch their breath. Kai sheathed his sword, his eyes filled with a mixture of relief and determination. "We did it! We protected the artifact." Drake shifted back to his human form, his expression serious. "But this is only a temporary solution. We need to find a way to secure the eternal light permanently." Myra's voice was soft but resolute. "And we must ensure that the dark forces can never breach our defenses again." Alara nodded, her eyes reflecting the glow of the artifact. "We have a powerful ally in the eternal light, but we must learn to harness its full potential. Only then can we truly protect Eldoria." Lyra held the eternal light close, feeling its warmth and power. "We have the strength, the knowledge, and the unity to do this. Together, we will find a way to secure the artifact and safeguard our future." With the immediate threat repelled, the group began to plan their next steps. They knew that their journey was far from over, but their bond and determination gave them the courage to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they left the underground garden, the eternal light safely in their possession, they felt a renewed sense of purpose. The path to securing Eldoria's future was fraught with danger, but they were ready to face it together. Chapter 5, The Council's Decision. Returning to the Aurora Forest with the eternal light, Lyra, Kai, Drake, Mira, and Alara felt the weight of their mission more than ever. They knew that simply possessing the artifact was not enough. They needed to secure it in a way that ensured Eldoria's lasting peace and protection. Upon their arrival, they convened a council meeting with the leaders of all regions. King Elander, Kara, Zara, and other key figures gathered in the Grand Hall, their expressions a mix of curiosity and concern. King Elander began the meeting, his voice steady and authoritative. "We have gathered here today to discuss the future of Eldoria and the protection of the Eternal Light. Our guardians have succeeded in retrieving the artifact, but now we must decide how best to use it to safeguard our land." Lyra stepped forward, holding the glowing orb in her hands. The Eternal Light is a powerful artifact, capable of immense good or terrible evil. We must find a way to harness its power for the benefit of Eldoria while ensuring it remains protected from those who would use it for darkness. Kara, Kai's sister, spoke up, her eyes thoughtful. "We need to consider both magical and physical defenses. The artifact should be placed in a secure location, protected by powerful wards and guarded by our most trusted warriors and mages." Zara, the goblin leader, nodded in agreement. "And we should create a network of scouts and informants to monitor any threats. Early detection is key to preventing any attempts to seize the Eternal Light." Myra's voice was calm but resolute. "We can also use the siren songs to create barriers and detection spells around the artifact. The sea has its own magic, which can complement the defenses we put in place." Elara, with her deep knowledge of ancient magic, suggested a unique approach. "We should consider creating a guardian for the Eternal Light. A being or construct imbued with the artifact's power, dedicated to its protection and unable to be corrupted by darkness." The idea was met with thoughtful silence, and then King Elander spoke. "It is a bold plan, but it has merit. A guardian could provide an additional layer of defense, ensuring that the artifact remains safe even in the face of great danger." Drake, his voice deep and steady, added, "We should also ensure that the guardian is connected to our network of defenses and can alert us to any threats. This way, we can respond quickly and decisively." After much discussion, the council reached a consensus. The Eternal Light would be placed in a hidden sanctuary within the Aurora Forest, protected by powerful magical wards and guarded by a specially created guardian. The sanctuary would be accessible only to those deemed worthy, and a network of scouts and informants would monitor any potential threats. With the plan in place, the group set to work. Elara and Lyra focused on creating the magical wards and spells that would protect the sanctuary. They drew upon the ancient texts and the power of the Eternal Light, crafting intricate protections that would repel any dark forces. Kai and Drake oversaw the physical defenses, working with the guardians and warriors to create a secure perimeter around the sanctuary. They trained the guardians in advanced combat techniques and coordinated with the scouts to ensure constant vigilance. Mira, with the help of the sirens, wove powerful songs into the fabric of the sanctuary's defenses. These songs created barriers that would detect and repel intruders, adding an additional layer of protection. Finally, Elara and Lyra worked together to create the Guardian. They used a combination of ancient magic and the power of the Eternal Light, crafting a being of pure energy and light. The Guardian, named Lumen, was imbued with a single purpose, to protect the Eternal Light and alert the defenders of Eldoria to any threats. As the final spell was cast, Lumen came to life, its form glowing with the radiance of the Eternal Light. The Guardian bowed to Lyra and Elara, its voice echoing with a serene power. "I am Lumen, Guardian of the Eternal Light. I am here to protect and serve." With the sanctuary complete and the Guardian in place, the Council and the Guardians felt a sense of relief. The Eternal Light was secure, and Eldoria's defenses were stronger than ever. As they stood together, watching the glow of the sanctuary's wards in the twilight, Lyra felt a deep sense of satisfaction. "We have done it. The Eternal Light is safe, and Eldoria is protected." Kai nodded, his eyes filled with determination. "But we must remain vigilant. The darkness will always be a threat, and we must be ready to face it." Drake's voice was steady. "We have built something strong here. Our unity and resolve will see us through any challenge." Myra's voice was soft but resolute. "Our bond is our greatest strength. As long as we stand together, we can face anything." With their hearts full of determination and their spirits unyielding, Lyra, Kai, Drake, Mira, and Elara looked towards the future, confident in their ability to protect Eldoria and ensure its lasting peace.